Hello everyone, welcome to uh, Database Systems 509 Section 2, week number 4. This is a brief lecture video, and the topic for this week is SQL. And in this video, I want to briefly go over the 3 assignments that you have. Let me just put this out here, and as usual, there are the materials here for the introduction, objectives, and all the course instructional material. There is the Zybook, which is a SQL practice from chapter 4, which I assign those sections only. The next one is the SQL Lab. Some of you are already familiar with SQL, and therefore you may want to do some other projects that are listed here as a case project or hands-on project. If you already spoke with me, you can do them. But if this is sort of a new, or you want to get a refresher, then feel free to do the SQL Lab, which is assigned here how to do the SQL Lab instruction. And the third assignment is to do the SQL Server backup, and the instruction is already over here. So let's get started with the first assignment. Let me bring this over here for you. Position it. So just click on this link, and it should take you to the Zybook. But I'm going to go there directly myself, so I can show you what's in that chapter as a whole. And here in chapter 4, SQL, there are a few more sections that you can try, but basically you can try the, let me not click on that one. There's a simple functions or simple SQL, and then the aggregates like sum and average and things like that. And then this join, so these two are pretty useful, and you should take time to learn if you haven't already. Join is very used a lot in a lot of reporting, but it can get really complicated real quick. So I'll spend a little bit of time showing you how to do that. And then there's some subqueries you can do and the view table as well. So maybe I'll come back and show in some other way. But go through them. Some simple queries. I'll do that from the other assignments. Okay? All right. So if you click on the SQL Lab, you should see this document come up. And basically, I'm asking you to go through some exercises, how to do both a simple query and one complicated one. So let me demo for you using the SQL Server. So basically, I'm just going to go through the lines. I'm going to show you how to do that. So here are some simple queries that you can do. You can just select the AdventureWorks 2019, click on the new query, and you should see the database pop up here, and just type in a very simple, select a particular column and a name from this table. Since this is already up here, you don't have to use this, but sometimes I get a habit of saying which database to use. And all you have to do is just to execute, and it should show up. Since you chose selecting these two columns, it'll show that to you from this table, and this is what you're doing. This is what it renders. So you could technically get rid of this. I think somebody may have been asking this question: what if you just get rid of that? Since in the Adventure 2019 tables here, there's a product category. Let's see if we can find the product category. So you should be able to just simply execute that, and you should get that. Okay. You could also use the stars to select from things, but you can also add the control word where and specify any particular items that you're looking for. So you can use, select everything from this table where the column color is black and the standard cost value is 0. And it should give you the rest of them like that. And you can use and or any other logical operators. You could also use a control word distinct, so they are unique. And you can also order the result by particular column name, either as an ascending or descending order. So there you go. Okay. Here's another nifty tricks and commonly used, and that is you want to find the columns, but the average of those columns. And then you also want to name a new column when it renders, rather than just what it was before. So you can just execute that, and then this is a new column name. This is the average of all the subtotal column, which is pretty useful for a lot of reports. Here's another useful tip here, and things for you to know. But as you can see here, I'm selecting these 4 items from this table here. But if you look at carefully, here is a sales and salesperson, right? But I have a little V here. That means it's a view. So if you come down here, so I'm pulling not from a table, but from a view. So if you look at the views here, there is a view salesperson. So this name should match. Sometimes they use a VW or some other things, but it's under the view entries. I am pulling these things from this view here, and view is a virtual rendering of the tables, and I am selecting a column with the job titles that has a manager in it. Okay, and you can use this percent sign here or a percentage sign to put whatever you like. And like searches all the ones that has this particular thing in it. And then you can also search for a value in any column, such as a postal code, and say in, and you can list the values in there. And if the value is inside of this parentheses, it'll be true, and it'll collect that. And then you can also continue to use the logical operators here as and. But sometimes you want to say, if it's not empty, then that's what you want, and you can say, a phone number is not null. And then you can simply execute this here, and then you should get whatever is coming to you. Before I get to the joins, let me just show you 2 resources here. So as I may have mentioned to you before, joins get complicated real quick. So if you want to get a different perspective on different examples, you can go to the W3 on joins here. So maybe I'll just put it in here as well, and maybe a little easier for you to see. But it's w3schools.com, and then you can just search for join. Okay, but here it gives you a syntax on how to do a simple joins, and then you can different kinds of joins here, and you can try some of these. Here is maybe another view of the SQL joins in terms of a Venn diagram. There are very different kinds of many different types of joins here. This is joining between two, the circles are the tables. This may be maybe the most logical one. You want to find something that is in both tables. So this would be the inner join. This would be the left join, sort of the variations of left join. Here's the variations of the right join, and stuff like that. So, and it also gives you a little a logic of the SQL that you may want to use. I'll also post this on the website, the Blackboard. The last or the second type of examples on the SQL lab is this complicated one. So let me show that to you as an example here. Okay. So let me explain a little bit about this one here. Again, you don't really need this if you already see the database at the top and the drop down here. So the naming convention is a little bit unique here. You can do select product ID, name, and product number. But notice that I put a little a letter in front of it to identify that these 3 things belong to a new quote-unquote schema that I'm going to be using because I'm going to be doing a little bit complicated one here. And here from this table I'm pulling from, and then I am referencing this product ID because there could be more than one product ID in different tables. So I want to be referencing that this product ID is the same as that one. But notice here also that I am having a subsection here. I am selecting this distinctive product ID from this table here, and whatever I get from here, if the product ID is not in this one, those are my alarm. But anyway, so if it's not in here, I'm going to be pulling them, and then whatever I get, I will order them by this product ID, and an assumption is the ascending order. So you could have technically have more than one the dot notations, and it can get really complicated. But if you execute this, this is what you should get. I think somebody, you may be asking, what if you don't put this guy here? If you cut this out and you put a semicolon there, it'll still work, but sometimes it may not render in order, so people may get confused. Did I get the right report, or how does it look like? So it's customary for you to always order by in certain order that your consumer is asking for. So you can do that, and because I already executed it, it just kind of comes out the same. So I hope this kind of gives you a good idea, and let me get on to the next one. So the next assignment is the SQL Server backup, and backing up the SQL Server is a routine task that DBA or a DBA team will do, and so this will take you pretty much straight through, and I think it's pretty clear on with all the screenshots and stuff like that. But if you run into an issue, there are some common issues that you may run into, so I just wanted to point out to you. If it fails on step number 6, try a different folder location. And that should get rid of the 99%. And sometimes your folder location may not have full access, even though you think it may. So if you change that, it should work out okay. And then I made a note about possible step number 7 and 10. So that should take you, to be able to do this assignment. That's it pretty much for this week, and talk to you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.